Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Thursday. Today's Monday. I am all kinds of backwards. This weekend didn't go as Sam and I had originally planned. Sam and I had a full day at the movies planned where we were going to do a video about the Regal Unlimited Pass. And we were in the middle of the new Harry Potter movie, and we were eating our lunch in the theater, and I felt something give, like on a tooth. I'm like, oh crap. So I just got up and I went to the bathroom and I used my phone in a stall to kind of look. And sure enough, a corner of one of my back teeth had broken off, or like broken. And like the only thing that was holding it together was the filling, because it's an adult tooth. It had been filled. And I'm like, so I went back and I used my phone to text a message and showed it to Sam. Said, I think my tooth just broke and I don't know what to do. And he just looked at me, and so I'm like, is it okay if we just go? He goes, yeah, because we weren't sure like what exactly the extent of the damage was. So we left Wichita, drove home. I needed to go to the bathroom. Sam needed to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom. Sam grabbed our insurance card out of his wallet, and we went to the ER. There was no one there. It was like we were the only person there. And so I had like 4 people in my room, which gave me I get anxiety, and this gave me massive amounts of anxiety. So we ended the doctor on call came in and was like, oh, so speaking of that, hold on. Forgot it. So the doctor on call was like messing in my mouth, and he's like, I don't see anything. I go, you can feel it right there, like your fingers on it. He goes, oh, this little spot right here. So he messed with it for a second and popped it off, and it was maybe the size like of my fingernail. And like I'm freaking out. Like no joke. I am having a heart attack in the middle of the ER. Hold on, I need to take my antibiotic real quick. Forgot to do that. Okay. So the doctor's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not." I'm like flopped over on the cart in the bed cart thing in the ER, and Sam's filling out paperwork, and he's like, "What's wrong?" I feel like I'm going to throw up. He's like, "Oh, we'll give her the little tube thing." So I'm like, "Okay, what are you going to do now? Are you going to pull the rest of the tooth? Like, what's going to happen?" And he's like his finger is in my mouth, like obviously with gloves, and like shoving like my whole head. Like he had to hold my head because he was like moving it really hard. He's like, the rest of the tooth is fine. It's like there. It's not coming loose. And I'm like, okay. He's like, you just need to call and make an appointment with your dentist. So I'm like, okay, what can I do? What can I not do? He's like, well, you can't eat anything really that you have to chew. So soups, yogurts, Jello, stuff like that. So I'm like, great. So we had plans to register for the Disney half marathon and stuff yesterday or tomorrow. Registration is tomorrow. But unfortunately, due to this, we had to take the money that we had been putting aside for that and pay for emergency dental stuff to happen. And you're probably going, well, Lena, why don't you just use a credit card? Well, we don't use credit cards. We both had bad experiences with them when we were younger. didn't know any better. We got it all taken care of and fixed, but we do not have any kind of credit cards now. It's not something we want to get in the habit of, oh, well, we could just throw that on the credit card. It's fine. Don't want to do that. So, unfortunately, no 5K, 10K for January, but that's okay. Maybe in a couple months, maybe the 10K will randomly open up and we can still get in. But as of right now, not going to happen in January. So we came home. I had called my dad, like from the movie theater, and he's like, yeah, you need to go to the ER. So I called Dad and told him, that what was going on and what is happening. He's like, okay, well, once you get an appointment, let me know. Well, I couldn't call until today. So I do have an appointment today at 1:30, and they're going to look at it and see what needs to be done. Because the tooth itself is like there. It's not like completely shattered. It's not all broken. They think they may just be able to cap it and leave it there, which I'm hoping for. So fingers crossed that it'll be something easy. So the last couple days I have spent literally in bed because I was getting dizzy and stuff, which they said can happen. Because I've got an open hole in my jaw is literally what it is. Sam went to Newton on Saturday and picked up Jell-O and soup and we had just gotten home. Literally, we had just gotten home and I was changing into pajamas to go lay down, and Sam's phone rang and he's like, hello? And they're like, sorry, this is the ER. We didn't know when we discharged you that the doctor was giving you an antibiotic, so we need you to come by and pick up this prescription for an antibiotic. And Sam's like, okay, I'll be there in a few minutes. Because my dad was coming by to check on me, and Sam wanted to be here when Dad came by. So Sam went out and got the prescription and went to Newton. So in the midst of that, my phone rings and it's Dylan's. And I'm like, why is Dylan's calling me? So I answered the phone and they're like, hello. The first thing was Sam had me call Dylan's to make sure that they were going to allow Sam to do the antibiotic pickup. And they said without my ID. And they said that was fine because it's not like a controlled item. Otherwise, I would have had to be there. I would have had to sign it for it. But it's an antibiotic. They're like, it's fine. They're like, according to your records, you're allergic to amoxicillin, correct? And I said, yeah. And they're like, well, the antibiotic that the ER doctor put you on is amoxicillin. And I'm like, really? So I'm like, go figure. That's just how this day would go. And he's like, I'm going to call what hospital? He's like, the Hillsborough Community Hospital? I said, yes. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to call the hospital and have them give me a new prescription for a different antibiotic because you can't take this one. And I'm like, oh, well, thank you for being observant because it's on my records. It's on my records at the hospital too. But so I'm taking this antibiotic. It's 4 times a day for 7 days with food. I just had forgotten to take it. I was taking it for yesterday I took my first one about this time as well. So I took it at 10 and at 1 and at 4 and at 7, I think. So Sam's on the road and I'm laying here going, this day just stinks. We had such a fun day planned at the movies and this trashed it. I'm like, too bad that the filling is what was holding it there, because if it had just fallen off, I would have rinsed my mouth out and went on, and not worried about it. Obviously I wouldn't have the antibiotic, but but it is what it is. Sam's like, it is what it is. You know, we're just not having good luck with this movie pass. It seems like every time we turn around to do something like this, something comes up. I'm like, yeah, we've got one more month of it and then we're done. So, small blessings. So, anyway, I texted Sam and I said, hey, can you pick me up some mashed potatoes and gravy from KFC? Because that sounds like really good. And I posted in my Weight Watchers app. I'm like, I don't know if I'm even going to track today and tomorrow because I have to eat. I can't eat the things I would normally eat. Like, I can't eat apples or celery or grapes or anything like that. I can't eat any fruits or vegetables, literally, until I'm seen by the dentist. And they're like, I wouldn't even worry about it. Like 1 week, like if you have a gain for your week, it's not going to affect your progress. Like you're literally stuck eating what they tell you can eat. And I ended up eating a couple chicken strips Saturday night, like gnawing on them like back here, which is really weird to do. But I ate a lot of mashed potatoes and a lot of coleslaw and Jello. And yesterday I ate soup and crackers. And today today was a little bit better. Like it's right in here. So like I feel like it's a little swollen right here, but it may not be. Like to me it feels like it is, but so this morning I had a scrambled egg with a slice of cheese and 2 slices of bacon, and I didn't cook them as crispy as I normally would. I kind of let them still be a little chewy, so that helped. But I didn't track anything on Saturday or yesterday because literally Sam was like, you're staying in bed. He's like, you need, like, I was feeling dizzy when I got up, and he's like, I don't need you falling. I don't need you getting hurt. When I talked to the office receptionist at the dental office, I'm like, can I go to the gym? I didn't end up going to the gym. But she's like, yeah, as long as you don't smack yourself in the face with a weight. And I'm like, well, that would be something I would do. And she knows who I am. And so she laughed. But probably after I go to the dentist today, I will know a little bit more of what's going on. Like, are they going to end up fixing it today? Or are they going to be like, we're going to have you come in on a different day and do something? I don't know what's going to happen today. So I ended up not going to the gym. But tomorrow I am off because I was supposed to be registering for the marathon, which I'm not. But I'll probably end up spending a couple of hours at the gym tomorrow and then making sure that Wednesday and Thursday I get in my steps and make sure that tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, that my eating is really on point. And I have to go into Friday going, this was not a normal week. And saying if I have a gain, I have a gain, but try to do everything I can the rest of the week to negate that gain. I've had weeks in the past, like when I've had a migraine, that like I ate too, and it didn't really affect things too much. But I don't want to go into it, I can eat whatever I want for 2 days out of the week and still have a loss. That's not the kind of mentality I want to have for myself. So we'll just kind of, we'll see what happens on Friday and see what the damage is. I am a chronic weigher. And I tell other people not to do it, and then I do it myself. Like, don't weigh every day because it's gonna mess with your brain. And you know, I'm like, don't do that. It's gonna mess with your head. And then I do it anyway. So I went, no, I'm not gonna get on that scale. I'm not gonna do it. You get your butt back into bed and go back to sleep. And so I did, which was nice. I'm gonna have a really hard time getting up on Wednesday. So I think tomorrow I'm going to try to get up and stay up when Sam goes to work like I normally would, and maybe just kind of move myself, like get up, cook breakfast, like I like do a normal like school day, and take myself to the gym for a while tomorrow morning. I'm really bummed that I'm not going to be able to register for one of the races tomorrow. I'm just so super bummed. But this takes priority. I don't want it to get infected. I don't want to create an abscess or something that would be dangerous to myself. And so I have to be an adult, and it stinks, but it is what it is, and go from there. I feel like I have like, so I have several collabs that are coming up. The next one is the end of this month, like not this Saturday, the 23rd, but next Saturday on the 30th. And I talked about the craft that I was going to do on Friday. I figured it out. I've got it figured out. I'm making bookends. And the plan was over the weekend to have Sam sand down the wooden blocks for it. And I just completely forgot. Like, everything else that we were going to do kind of got pushed to the side over dealing with this. So when Sam gets home from work today, I'm hoping that he may have time to run him outside real quick and sand them. It won't take very long with the power sander. I just want to get them kind of cleaned up so that they're like smooth so I can paint them. I'm going to paint them black. Like I said on Friday, I don't know if I'm going to paint them with spray paint or if I'm going to paint them with apple barrel paint. I don't know yet. I just have to decide. It'll be a pretty quick project, thankfully, and hopeful, like fingers crossed. So here's my thought process. In 2014, I had to have right here, this tooth hole right here. My finger is like in that spot right here. I had to have that pulled like in February, I think. It was on a Monday. And I remember this so distinctly because the shop where Sam works was only doing half, like they weren't even going in on Mondays. Sam happened to be at work for a half day on that Monday. And I was in so much pain in this tooth. And I called the dentist and they're like, well, it'll be $200 to have it pulled. And so I called Sam and Sam's like, well, we've got the money, so we need to do it. We were saving up for our very first Disney trip. And so he's like, I'm like, well, I don't have anyone to cover the office. And Sam's like, what time is your appointment? And I don't even remember what time it was. But he's like, okay, I'm getting off at this time. I'll go with you to the dentist to here, and then I'll cover your office in the afternoon. And I got it cleared with my board, the chamber president at the time. And she's like, yeah, that's fine. No big deal. So we did that. And I remember just like, I had to walk from the dental office to the office where I was working. It was like 1-2 blocks away. I just remember kind of swaying the whole way walking. They had it so like there was one nerve that wasn't dead in that tooth. And I'm like, this hurts, stop. And they're like, we don't understand how you're still feeling it. We have got so much like injected it so many times. We do not understand how you are still feeling this. I'm like, I'm telling you, it hurts. And they finally just had to like pull. They finally just had to do it. You could hear me scream all over that office. So I'm a little nervous because it's the same office I'm going back to. Because it's not in bad shape, I'm hoping they just cap it. Anyway, I was back to work the next day. I had to like gently brush it. I had to make sure and rinse with salt water and Listerine, which is what I've been doing every time I eat. I have been rinsing with salt water and rinsing with Listerine, and that kind of thing. So I have been making sure to do what I know to do to kind of keep it cleaned out. And that's one area where that tooth is not there anymore. So I went to work the next day. I was kind of groggy, but I went to work the next day. So my hope here is the plan based on absolutely what I'm thinking is going to happen in my brain. I'm not going to feel good this afternoon. There's pretty much no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I'm not going to feel great after I go to the dentist. I mean, I don't think anyone feels good after going to the dentist, whether you're going to a cleaning or not. So tomorrow, I will get up when Sam does, like a normal day for school. Get up, eat breakfast, go to the gym for a couple hours. Now, you're probably going to Lena a couple hours. Isn't that a little ambitious? Well, here's the game plan. If I do an hour on the treadmill, and then I do an hour of safe weights. And what I mean by safe weights is doing things that I don't need someone there to spot me for. Like, I did a reel and I was like on like a standing squat machine. I would not do that one if Sam wasn't there to kind of like make sure that I was okay. There's one where you push up with your feet. I did I did a TikTok of that one as well. I wouldn't do that one if Sam wasn't there with me. But like things like arm weights, like I can do like kind of like butterflies. I know some like other standing weights and stuff that I can do that just uses like dumbbells. And there's a couple machines, like a leg machine and some other types of weights that I know I can do safely by myself. I call those safe weights. I can do safe weights for a while as well. I can put myself through a circuit that way. And then if I wanted to, I could do some more on the treadmill or kind of whatever. But like the machines that I'm not like the standing one and the leg pushing one, I wouldn't do without Sam there. I go do a couple hours at the gym, come home, maybe do like an hour live stream. So if I get up, eat breakfast, and go down, if I'm down there by 6, let's say I'm there by 7 o'clock, I would be done by 9 and walk and be home by 9:30, clean up in the shower, and be, cleaned up by 10:30. And so say maybe 10:30 tomorrow morning, I'd be able to be live. Or maybe wait because Sam will be home for lunch at 11. Maybe do like a lunch live stream tomorrow, like at noon. Do an hour live stream then. And then, but when I get home, I can work on my craft for my collab and get that at least partially worked on. Like, because I'm talking faster than I can talk. I'm thinking faster to talk. Because I'm going to have to paint like a couple sides and then be able to let it dry and then turn it over to paint the other side. So I need to let that dry. So even if I got half of it done and painted tomorrow, that would be progress. So work on that, live stream a little bit. And even if I waited until after I live stream to flip it over and paint the other sides and hopefully have that project done tomorrow. That would be my goal. That is my goal for tomorrow. And then in between there, be able to eat something. I don't know what I'm going to be able to eat. I may still be on kind of this like soft foods diet, which really stinks. Like, you can't eat what you normally would eat. Like, I can't eat apples. I can't eat celery. I can't eat the things like on my Weight Watchers plan that I know I like that normally I'm eating. Like, it's just so annoying. So thankfully I've got sugar-free Jell-O and I've got sugar-free applesauce And so I'm able to do it that way. But man, I'm almost more annoyed at the whole situation. So I probably could have eaten a little bit more bacon with my breakfast, but I didn't want to overeat. Some things were making me not feel real good yesterday, so I just wanted to make sure and take it easy. I made myself an iced coffee this morning, and it tasted like dirt. So I'm like, wonderful. I don't know if it was the coffee that I used, or if it was, I don't know what it was. So I ended up making me a sparkling energy water instead. So putting some more of my other can of sparkling water in it. It was a little sweet. And I mean, the sparkling water is flavored too, so that gives it a little more sweetness. But I kind of did a hodgepodge this morning. I had several sticks that were open, and I don't like to leave the sticks open very long. So I just threw in a 4C berry, and then I dumped in all the kind of the leftover packets. And it's not horrible. It's drinkable. Sometimes you're going, I'm not even going to drink that now. But it's not horrible, so that's good. I'm probably not supposed to be drinking with a straw, but even when I was at the ER, I'm like, am I going to get some Tylenol or anything? And the nurse just kind of shrugged and said, I don't know. I'm waiting for the doctor. And I'm like, okay. But they brought me 2 400 ibuprofens with a straw, so I've been using a straw. But like I said, I have been making sure to like swish Listerine and salt water and all kinds of stuff on it, so it shouldn't get dry socket. Hopefully. I do not like the dentist. I'm very nervous about going to the dentist, but I mean, it is what it is. I have to do it. I have to go get it taken care of. So over here beside me, back up. I participated in a golden egg swap that was put on by Melissa over at Geeking Out with Melly Mel and Christian from McDork's Pop. And I accidentally uploaded the video early and didn't even realize it. Sorry. But one of the items that Thomas from Stitch Ohana sent me was a golden egg candle. Now, unfortunately, part of the base came like completely shattered. I sent him pictures so that he could get reimbursement for shipping. But yesterday I went, Sam, I really want to burn that candle. Would you pop the candle out of this broken glass for me? I knew if I did it, I was going to end up slicing my hand open. And we'd already had a tooth injury. We didn't need a hand injury. So Sam did it, and he's like the whole candle piece came off the wick, and the wick was like taped into the bottom. So Sam had to get it out. And then he's like, well, what do we put it in? I'm like, a paper plate? And he's like, no, that's not sturdy enough. I said, well, I have these wooden like square dish things that I got for like 25 cents at Michael's on clearance. I didn't know what I was going to do with them, but they were $0.25, so I bought them. I had a gift card. And Sam goes, oh, that'd be perfect. And it actually really is. Here is my candle. And the fun thing about it, you can't really see it, but right down in here, there is a little foil wrapped item. And I think if I remember correctly, it's a necklace. So once the candle melts down, I'll have a necklace, and the candle smells so good. It smells so floral and refreshing. And I had it burning yesterday as well, and it burns really clean. Like sometimes you get like a lot of smoke off of candles, and this one you don't. You get a little bit, but it's not horrible. I really like it. And so I'm really excited that I had this really cute little wooden bowl to put it in. And so that's sitting over here burning, and I get to smell that. I'm a little congested. We've got some weird allergy stuff going on around here. It's been insane. Sam and I finally kind of finished making vacation plans so that he could turn those into work. And it's really weird for us because we typically know what we're doing and we don't have like any problems with making sure that things like get figured out. But the past couple of years we've had a lot of problems, but we've got it figured out, and Sam's going to get that turned in so that we can he'll have that all turned in. Hey, look who's coming to hang out with me.
Hello. Why are we so close?
I don't know, because that's how I usually have it. I have to go to the dentist.
You haven't been yet?
Had to wait till today. They weren't open until today.
Well, usually when you break a tooth, they do emergency weekend surgery.
They popped the piece off of it and gave me an antibiotic and told me to call my dentist.
Oh, you went to the ER. You didn't call your dentist and get in for emergency surgery at the dentist office?
We don't have emergency. They don't come in on weekends, even for emergencies. If it had been really, really, really severe, they would have done the surgery at the ER. But the rest of the tooth is solid. It was like this little corner, the size of my fingernail. And they made me keep it so that I could show the dentist like what it broke off. And I'm messaging with one of my friends, and she has a first grader, and he goes, Mom, can I have Miss Lena's piece of tooth so maybe the tooth fairy will bring me some extra money?
That's funny. And
I'm like, Jay, I wouldn't start that because then he's gonna start beating kids up on the playground for their teeth.
I chipped my tooth on vacation one year, and it was the last day, luckily. So I called the dentist from vacation, was like, hey, I'm sitting on the beach. I just chipped my tooth. And they're like, well, we can't get you in today since you're not here. So, and that was a Friday. So they scheduled me for emergency on Saturday, and they just fixed it.
Our dentist office is closed Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They're only
ours is too. It's open for emergencies only, and if they don't have any emergencies scheduled, they don't even go in.
They aren't even open for emergencies on the weekend. So I'm like, this is not cool, but I'll get fixed today. But we're having to use our money we were going to use for the marathon weekend registration to pay for my emergency dental work.
Don't you have insurance?
Yep, but it does not cover dental emergencies.
It should cover at least 20%.
Nope. We have crappy dental insurance.
You should have military dental insurance.
Not for me. I'm spouse.
Spouses are covered under.
Not when you're retired. We didn't pay to keep TRICARE because it was more expensive than the insurance that he gets through where he works now. He has the insurance through the VA, but that doesn't cover me. That just covers him.
You could also get care credit. Care credit is interest free for 36 months, something like that, 24 months, and you can pay it off like as you go, like make payments on it. I use care credit. That's the only credit card I have besides my company credit card.
But well,
But
hopefully maybe like the 10K will reopen and we can, you know what I mean?
well, you didn't already pay for it?
No, because registration is tomorrow.
Open registration. Are you talking about for February's?
For January, for the marathon weekend.
Okay. I thought you decided you weren't going to do that one anyway.
Well, we're going to do Dopey.
Oh, gotcha. But yeah, you could apply for Care Credit, which is dental credit, a dental credit card, and it's also you can because it's dental, you can claim it on your taxes, and you get a certain amount of time. I think it's 36 months to where there's no interest in to pay it off. It may be 6 months or 12 months. I think there's different ones, and if it's no interest, it's not any additional charge. You just pay it monthly.
Well, this particular dentist requires all payment up front.
So yeah, Care Credit would pay for it all up front, and then you pay on the credit card. All dentist office require all payments up front.
Well, like one of the other ones in the area, they bill your insurance first, like going to the doctor. They bill your insurance and then they bill you the remainder. But this one you have to pay up front and then they bill your insurance. And the insurance sends you a reimbursement check.
So the way ours works is they get an estimate of how much your insurance is going to cover. And they don't bill the insurance until after your surgery, but you have to pay up front as well. Like you have to pay the day of your surgery and you pay out of pocket, and your out of pocket can be put on the Care credit card. It's just like any credit card, except for a Care credit card is for dental use, and they don't charge you interest for each dental transaction. The way they work is each dental transaction does not charge you interest for a specific period of time. Because you know how some credit cards are like, interest free for the first 3 months. Well, This is per transaction. So say I had to go into the dentist tomorrow to have, knock on wood, Jesus, to have dental surgery. They would give me an estimate of how much my insurance is going to cover, because they do that. They don't run the insurance, but they do an estimate of it. And then you pay out of pocket for the rest, which you would put on your Care credit card. Because if you have a Care credit card, it's a dental credit card. You could either pay it out of cash, pay it on a different credit card, or pay it on your Care credit card. And once that transaction's ran, I have a certain period of time to pay it off with no interest. And then after that, they start doing interest. It's just like a credit card. You just get per transaction. And then, okay, we're all good. They run the rest through my insurance. If for whatever reason there is a balance outstanding, meaning they overestimated or underestimated. If they overestimated, you get a check back. If they underestimated, they send you a bill in addition, because that happens. And then say in like 2 months, I got to go back for whatever reason, for a filling or something. Instead of like, if I wanted to pay the remaining of my balance, like they're like, okay, this filling costs $500. Your insurance is going to cover $350 of it. You owe the rest. You can either pay with what you have, pay like your money, pay on a credit card, or pay on your Care credit card. And then that transaction is interest free until it reaches a certain time period, and then they start charging interest. It is all like you pay the day of your surgery in full, whether it's you use a credit card, you use Care credit card, which is the same as a credit card, you use cash, or your insurance pays for it. But it's all upfront. It's any kind of surgery is like that. Like if I were to go to like elective surgery, if I were to go to, say, the doctor's office and say, hey, yeah, I want a surgery on my nose. I need like whatever for my nose, like it's an elective surgery. All elective surgeries are up front, whether you put it on a credit card, put it on your medical credit card, or whatever, and then your insurance is billed after the fact, or they say we estimate your insurance will pay this month. We're gonna charge you this much right now, and then bill your insurance for the remainder. They'll do it either way, but it's all up front in general. So
I'm hoping that because when I was talking to the nurse / receptionist, she said that it sounds like they may just be able to put like a cap on it. And so a cap would be even less expensive than having them pull it, especially since the rest of the tooth is still there. And it's still like...
Extraction's actually very cheap.
When I had this one pulled in 2014, it was almost all dead except for one root. I was in so much pain. It was $200. This one is a lot more solid than this one was. So and I would have to be sedated.
Yeah, but extraction is much cheaper. Like I have that one that I broke. They're like, "Do you want me to just extract it?" I was like, "No," because I'm very particular about my teeth. I mean, come on, I floss constantly.
You do.
So I was just flossing a minute ago. So I was like, no, not unless you absolutely have to. So they were like, it'd be cheaper. I'm like, no. I ended up with a root canal, which cost me like over $1,000. And they're like, it would have been cheaper to extract this, way cheaper. It's like, I don't care. If it's still good, we're good. So, and it was because I broke the tooth. It was, of all things, this was in 2017, of all things, it was a gummy bear.
Okay. All right. Mine was a chicken breast. Okay. What? Well, okay. So this tooth right here, this one here, it I knocked it out completely as an adult tooth in 3rd grade, and it's actually that's actually my real tooth. It's not fake. But they cemented the two front ones together, and the front and the back, and then they like put like they built up the rest of the tooth with like a dental stuff to make it match the other one. Well, Sam was at boot camp, and I was eating a soft taco in our apartment, our hotel room, and that just crumbled all off. I'm like, okay, don't panic. And I'm like, okay, this was like it was a Sunday or a Wednesday, because I knew my mom was at church. So I called the church in McPherson, and I'm like, this is Lena O'Connor. Or Lena Hall at that point, I guess. May I speak with Jane O'Connor? And they're like, yeah, just a second. And because mom didn't have a cell phone at that point. And mom was like, hello? And I'm like, Mom, my tooth just broke. The one that we knocked out in 3rd grade. It just broke. And mom's like, okay, churches almost are due. I'm like, I don't work tomorrow. And she's like, okay, good. That's a good thing. So we're going to leave and we're going to come get you. And so they ended up getting me in the next day there in Marion, where they had done the work before and did the same thing, replastered it, rebuilt it up. But I'm like, oh my gosh, this is insane. I was on a soft taco, and then this is on a chicken breast, and yours is on a gummy bear.
Well, so fillings, like when you get fillings, they're not supposed to last forever, and they do weaken your teeth. So the chances that a filling will turn into a broken tooth or a root canal are very, very high.
Are they really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
And then also root canals, because they put it's a root canal. They take out the root and they put a filler in there, but then they put a crown on top of it, which you call the cap. It's actually called a crown rather than a cap. And those are expensive, and they're made of porcelain. So their longevity is really only 7 to 10 years. So your crown will pretty much need to be replaced within 7 to 10 years.
That's interesting.
Like, you don't have to redo the root canal, which is one of the most expensive things. A crown is also expensive, but instead of getting a root canal and a crown being over $1,000, when you go to replace your crown, it's more like $500. But yeah, they're only meant to last a certain period of time. But the reason they do porcelain over silver or gold like they used to is because it looks nicer. Like, I remember my mom got her first root canal. Her crown was gold colored, but it's in the back. You can't really see it. And just like when we were teenagers, when we got fillings, all of our fillings are silver.
Yeah, mine are too.
Porcelain. Now they're porcelain, and you have to get them replaced every 7 to 10 years, or they're gonna start leaking, and they're gonna start having gaps. Your teeth, like shrink. Well, not your teeth, but the fillings, specifically silver fillings. When it gets cold, they'll shrink and they'll cause gaps, and that's why they try to replace all your silver fillings, because metal.
How do you know all this?
I'm in the medical field. I work in the medical field. I've worked in the medical field for over 20 years.
Oh my gosh. Like, I'm just sitting here going,
yeah.
I love this.
I've worked in the medical field. And because I'm in the medical field, when I go into a doctor's office or a dentist's office, I ask questions. I start saying, okay, so I just ask questions naturally because I'm always curious as to how long they're supposed to last. And they'll tell you. But yeah, so the metal will shrink, and so that's why they want to replace all your silver fillings with porcelain. But the porcelain's not as durable, so you got to get it replaced every 7 to 10 years.
That's insane.
My mom's had the same crown, the gold one, for over 20 years. Probably going more on 40 years.
Someone was telling me that your, like, kind of like your hair and whatnot, your teeth and their health are hereditary. It doesn't matter.
They're genetic.
And Mom was like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, Mom, it's not. I go, Mom, it is your fault. Never mind. Because my mom has really bad teeth too. And she's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's all your fault. It is all your fault.
It's not 100% genetic. It is genetic. Like, cavities is kind of a genetic thing, like whether your teeth.
Mom's had to have, I think in the past couple years, Mom's had to have several pulled. And she's like, it's just cheaper. She's like, at this point, I'm just about to get dentures. I'm like, I say that we just knock me out, pull out all my teeth, and give me dentures. We'll be fine.
No.
So when when I get mad at the kids, I could just go.
Well, yeah, it is genetic, but it's not all genetic. You still need to floss and brush and make sure when you're brushing, you get your gum line, because if you don't, you'll get a receding gum line and you'll get gingivitis and all of that stuff. Like, you're not brushing your teeth flat. You need to kind of tilt it down to where it's getting your gum line too. And when you do the back, you need to do each individual tooth, because like on the inside, it's a lot more like bacteria builds back there. It's harder to get to. So like each individual tooth on there. So you do like angled down on this side, each individual tooth back there. And then the top is the least, like here, is the least focused area. And a lot of people focus on that area the most. That's your least focused area. You want to be like going at an angle here and like in the back, and then the top is your least focus. Another way that you get more cavities is really how your teeth grooves are made. If you have really deep grooves in your teeth, you're susceptible to more cavities because of the deep grooves.
We're okay with Christy today.
Yeah. I'm very educated on most health things.
Need a health advocate? Go to Christy.
If I don't know it, I'll tell you. I don't know. I'm not sure. And then I'll Google it. I'll Google it for you and be like,
I'm probably being bad because I'm using a straw.
I'll be like, Mayo Clinic says this. I use straws all the time.
Well, when I had this one extracted, they told me I couldn't use a straw for like a couple weeks to help not get Oh, I just about said it.
Oh, also the things
Dry something.
dry mouth.
No, that
The tooth dry, yeah, the gums, the dry out. They want you to keep them moist.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm like, they're like, you can't use a straw. So I'm thinking maybe I
You
shouldn't
can
have been
use
using.
straw. They just kind of want you to swish your water around in your mouth.
Well, I mentioned it before you got on. Every time I eat something, I go swish out my whole mouth with salt water, and then I use the original color of Listerine, like the power one.
Another thing that messes with your teeth is acidic stuff because it tears away at the tooth enamel. And the tooth enamel is what protects your teeth. So if you're drinking, eating acidic things, it will tear away at your teeth quicker.
Oh, my favorite snack is to set and cut apart a lemon and just eat the straight lemon.
Oh yeah, that's very bad for your teeth.
I never said it was good for my teeth. I said that's my favorite snack.
Carbonated beverages, just like carbonated beverages, are really bad for your teeth. And a good example is if you were to take a really dirty penny and drop it in a drink and leave it for 24 hours and take it out, it's no longer dirty. It literally eats away at your enamel.
Well, I'm having sparkling water this morning. Black cherry pomegranate.
I'm having just water, ice cold.
Mine is ice cold. You can see that it's changed my cup colors. I'll actually show you.
So yeah, it's all with like, so yes, it is genetic, but it's not all genetic. It goes with how your teeth are grooved, like if you have any like food traps in your mouth. I have a food trap. It's right back here. It's between the back tooth and the other tooth. And what a food trap is literally, it's like a specific type of gap in your teeth that just hoards the food, which is why I floss every time I eat. Every single time I eat, I floss every single tooth and get out any kind of food that's in the grooves, because a food trap is like one of the number one things that will increase any kind of like cavities you've got going on. And then, the acidity, yeah, of the foods and beverages that you consume. And of course, also there's staining on your teeth. You drink coffee, you drink dark colored drinks, those will stain your teeth darker colors. Now there is a whitening process, but that whitening process is also bad on your teeth.
Don't eat. You never know. Don't eat because you're going to stain your teeth.
But my dentist has always said that I have like the whitest teeth, naturally white teeth that they've ever seen. I'm like, I don't know why. I drink coffee. Don't know why. But they actually gave me a complimentary, they took a molding of my teeth and gave me a complimentary teeth whitening kit that I could use whenever I wanted to. I use it like once or twice a year.
Well, how'd you get that?
So when they did that crown for that tooth that I broke, it was a rather deep break, like on the side. So creating the crown was a little difficult for them, and that I had a temporary crown for months because they had to send the crown back 3 times, and it wasn't their fault. It was it was just like the creation of it. They felt bad, so they gave me free teeth whitening.
Nice.
Which very rarely use. You can use teeth whitening up to once every 6 weeks. It's not good for your teeth, so I only use it once or twice a year. This one is not loaded. What else do you want to know?
I think you've told me everything I need to know. I'm prepared for my appointment.
And you probably want to check into the whole insurance thing, because insurance should cover a percentage of any kind of broken tooth. It may only be 20%, but it should cover at least a percentage. And even if they say that their insurance does not cover it, that's not accurate. You would want to have them look again, unless they're out of network. And then I would just go to a company, go to a dentist office that's in network.
You're in rural Kansas. There's no dentist in network.
I guarantee you there is. There's always a couple in network. They legally can't have any that's not in network. You have to have something within an hour driving range to be in network.
Sam wants to know, does FSA cover dental?
FSA? I have to look that up. I have Delta Dental. Dental insurance and health insurance are two different insurances.
Right. We
rarely have one that covers.
We don't pay for dental insurance. We just have regular insurance.
Then you probably don't even have dental insurance. Unless for some reason FSA. Now, I will say that your regular insurance company, like if you have insurance and you went for an emergency that was dental related, your regular insurance will cover that emergency visit. Will not cover or anything else, but it will cover the emergency visit. Okay, here it is. According to the Internal Revenue Service publication, an individual can use their FSA coverage for all dental procedures that treat or prevent a dental disease. So
I don't know how much we have left on our FSA card, but I can take it with.
But yeah, if you don't have dental coverage, but you have regular insurance and you had an emergency with dental, your regular insurance will cover that. They won't cover like the crown or whatever, but they're going to cover the emergency visit.
Right. And what we only have to, I think we pay $300 for the ER visit for Saturday with our insurance. That's our copay.
What? How did I get Caribbean Bay or whatever up here? Funny. Where did my? Oh, there it is.
This candle that I got in my
I couldn't find your video.
It went up early.
Oh.
I threw the link in the chat, but I can send it to you. I even tried to like remove it and reschedule it, and it wouldn't work.
What did you get? The golden egg candle?
Yes.
I want that so bad.
I was really sad though. It came shattered.
So did someone else's.
I sent pictures to Stitch Ohana so that they could get a refund. So, but yeah, it smelled like I asked Sam to pop it out. The top part was fine. It was the base part that was shattered. And so I had Sam pop it out of the base. I'm like, if I try to do it, I'm slicing my hand open. Like, that's just how this is going to go. So it's now in this little wooden tray that I got from Michael's for $1, and it smells so good. And I think there's like a little necklace or something in it, because I can see it. It said it on the box.
Have like jewelry inside of them.
And I can see it along, like I can see the foil along the side, and I'm like, ah! So Sam said thank you.
No problem.
So I'm letting it, I'm gonna trim this wick. I will say the wick on this, I'll have to go grab my scissors. It like burns really quickly. It's like a fabric wick. So I think I need to trim it real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm clipping off the part. It was like trying to bend over. So I'm like, okay, let's clip that and relight it.
But,
excuse you.
Yep, thanks.
But I like that, because originally I was like, Sam's like, what are you going to put it in? And I said, I don't know, like a paper plate. And he's like, no. But I had these little wooden metal bowls, and like it's kind of like one of the sides is kind of started to kind of collapse, which is fine because it'll all just kind of go into this bowl and I can still light it.
I'm so thankful. Like, because I took Thursday and Friday off since it was the last days before my employee left.
Mm-hmm.
I had like 8 meetings scheduled today, and I guess all the meetings got moved to later on in the week. I guess because they felt bad that I was gonna have to like.
Spend all day in a meeting.
I was 300 plus emails when I got back.
Oh wow!
So, and tomorrow I log in late because I'm taking my husband to the airport for his business trip, and then I'm picking him up on Thursday, and then I'm off on Friday. So, fun times.
Yeah, tough fun times at your house.
And I'm an employee down.
I know you were telling me about that. So it's just you and the kids this week?
Starting tomorrow, yeah.
So since your hubby's coming back on Thursday, no magical makeup this week?
Yeah, no. I have to go get him from the airport this late Thursday. So yeah, no magical makeup.
Are you gonna do it like tomorrow or Wednesday instead?
Probably not, because I'm by myself. Like I'm single parenting it for the week.
Okay. And this weekend will be time spent with family, I'm sure.
This weekend, so our anniversary was Saturday, but it was Easter weekend, so we didn't do anything. So this weekend, we're doing stuff for our anniversary. We won't even be in town.
So no magical makeup this week.
No magical makeup this week. That's okay because I did like 3 looks this past
week. You did. It's like...
And I was still getting pink off my face last night.
That's hilarious. I told you it was going to be that way.
When I did the pink look, yes. Because I was hoping not since I used the MAC, but no. My face was in pain from washing it so much.
Next time, try the cold cream.
I might.
That's how I used to take it off all the time with theater makeup. Well, Sam is home for lunch, so I think I will take a break. I'll send you another link, and we can do another live stream later this afternoon when I get back from the dentist.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out with us, and we will see you in another stream or video.